You finally save your first $1,000. Then someone tells you to invest it immediately because time in the market matters. Someone else tells you to never invest until you have an emergency fund. So which one is right? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Both can be terrible advice if you use it at the wrong time. Because investing your first $1,000 too soon can leave you one car repair away from credit card debt. But keeping it in cash forever can cost you thousands in future growth. Today, I'll show you exactly where your first $1,000 should go and the one step most beginners skip that makes the rest of the plan work. This isn't really a question about getting the highest return. It's a question about building a money system that does not fall apart the first time life gets expensive. And before the end of this video, you'll be able to place yourself into one of 4 simple categories. Save all of it, split it, invest part of it, or prioritize your workplace 401k match. No vague advice, no "it depends" without an answer, just the right next step. Most people think saving and investing are competing choices. They aren't. They have completely different jobs. Saving protects your life today. Investing builds your life later. Savings are for things that could happen soon. A surprise medical bill, a broken phone, a car repair, an unexpected move, or a week without work. Investing is for money you do not need soon, money you can leave alone for years. When you invest money that should have been emergency savings, you turn your investment account into an emergency fund. And that means you may need to sell at exactly the wrong time. So the goal is not to choose your favorite. The goal is to give each dollar the correct job. And that brings us to the $1,000 decision ladder. Think of your money plan as a ladder. You do not start on the top rung. You climb it in order. Rung 1, stop small emergencies from becoming debt. Rung 2, get free money from an employer match if you have one. Rung 3, build a stronger emergency fund. Rung 4, invest consistently for the long term. Here's the step nobody tells you about. Your first $1,000 is usually not trying to grow your wealth. It is trying to prevent you from going backward. That changes everything. Let's start with the clearest situation. If you have zero savings, regularly overdraft your account, have unstable income, or would need a credit card for an unexpected $300 expense, your first $1,000 should usually go to savings, all of it. Keep it somewhere separate from your spending money but accessible when you truly need it, such as a savings account. Why not invest it? Because your first $1,000 is not there to make you rich. It is there to create breathing room. Let's say you invest the whole $1,000, then your car needs a $750 repair next month. You have 3 bad choices. Put the repair on a high-interest credit card, borrow money, or sell your investments early. And notice what happened. The investment was not the problem. The missing safety net was. A $1,000 starter emergency fund changes that equation. It gives you a pause button between a surprise expense and a financial crisis, and that pause button is powerful. There's a psychology concept called mental accounting. It means we treat money differently depending on the category we put it in. Money in your checking account feels available to spend. Money labeled emergency fund feels protected. Money inside a retirement account feels like future use money. That is why separate buckets matter. You are not just organizing dollars. You are designing your behavior. When you create a real emergency bucket, a surprise expense stops feeling like proof that you are failing. It becomes exactly what it is. An emergency your emergency fund was built to handle. But what if you already have some money saved? That is where the answer changes. Maybe you already have $500 saved. Maybe your monthly expenses are low. Maybe you live with family, your income is stable, and a surprise bill would not immediately send you into debt. In that case, your first $1,000 does not have to be all savings. You can split it. A simple starting point could be $750 into savings, $250 into investing. Or if your cash situation is more stable, $500 into savings, $500 into investing. The exact split is less important than one question. If an unexpected bill hit this month, would I have to borrow money? If the answer is yes, put more towards savings. If the answer is no, investing part of the money can make sense. This is the middle path most people miss. You do not need to be all cash or all investing. You need to build stability and momentum. Now, saving protects you, but investing is still how long-term wealth is built. Here's a simple hypothetical example. Say you invest $1,000 and leave it invested for 30 years. If it earns an average annual return of around 8%, remember returns are never guaranteed, that $1,000 could grow to roughly $2,160 after 10 years, $4,660 after 20 years, and $10,060 after 30 years. That is the power of compounding. But here's the crazy part. Compounding only works if you can leave the money alone. If you invest your emergency money, then pull it out 6 months later. Because life happens, you are not really investing long-term. You are just moving emergency cash into a more complicated parking spot. So remember this, savings protect the investment plan. Without savings, investing becomes fragile. Now there is one important exception. If your employer offers a 401k match, you should pay close attention. A match is when your employer adds money to your retirement account based on how much you contribute, up to a certain limit. For example, imagine your employer matches 100% up to 3% of your pay. You contribute $1,000. Your employer contributes another $1,000. Your account starts with $2,000. That is not a normal return. That is employer compensation. So a smart order looks like this. Build a small buffer, get the full match, then strengthen your savings. Do not skip cash completely, but do not ignore free employer money either, and check your specific plan details because rules can vary. At this point, you may be thinking, but if I wait to invest, am I missing out? Fair question. And yes, starting earlier is generally better than starting later. But building a small cash buffer first is not the same as deciding never to invest. It is building the base that lets you invest consistently. Because the biggest threat to a beginner is not missing a few months, it is constantly restarting. Invest, emergency, sell, credit card, try again. That cycle is exhausting. The better plan is the one that keeps running when life gets messy. Consistency is greater than perfect timing. So, what should you do with your first $1,000? If you have no emergency savings, save the entire $1,000. If you have a small cash cushion, split it. If you have a 401k match, build a buffer, then get the match. If your income is unstable, prioritize savings more heavily. The correct move is not the same for everyone, but the correct order is simple. Stability first, growth second, then repeat. Your first $1,000 is supposed to make the next surprise less scary. So do not ask, where will this grow the fastest? Ask, what does this dollar need to do for me right now? Before we wrap up, let's look at 4 mistakes that can derail your first $1,000 plan. Mistake number 1, ignoring high interest debt. If you are paying 20% interest on a credit card, paying that off is a guaranteed 20% return. That beats the market almost every time. Mistake number 2, chasing complexity. For your first $1,000, don't try to find the next moonshot stock. A simple, low-cost index fund is usually the smartest, most stable move for beginners. Mistake number 3, waiting for the perfect dip. While you wait for a crash, you might miss months of growth. Time in the market is more important than timing the market, especially with your first $1,000. Mistake number 4, emotional reacting. When the market goes down, it's tempting to sell. But remember your decision ladder. If your emergency fund is solid, you don't have to sell. You can stay calm. So, here is your concrete action plan for the next 30 days. Let's get that first $1,000 working for you. Step 1, audit your debt. List every balance and interest rate. If any rate is above 10%, that is your priority before any major investing. Step 2, open a dedicated high-yield savings account. Keep this money separate from your daily checking. This creates that mental accounting bucket we talked about earlier. Step 3, automate the habit. Whether it's $50 a week or $200 a month, set it to happen automatically. Consistency is the secret sauce to wealth. Starting is the hardest part. Once you hit that first $1,000, you have the system in place to reach $10,000, $50,000, and beyond. You've got this. Save to stay in the game. Invest to win over the long term. Comment below. Would you save, invest, split, or match? Subscribe to Easy Finance Help for Money Made Simple.